Okay, g'day guys. So today we are talking about the barbell upright row. Great and very underrated exercise for building out those big shoulder muscles and ideally our caps, so our mid delt. However, we can get some real good transfer or bang for our buck when it comes to just simply bringing your hands in a little bit tighter and getting your traps involved. So anyone who would like to build that upper portion of the traps, fantastic way to do so. But what we need to realize with the barbell upright row is that because the weight is outside the line of our center of mass or center of gravity, we are subjected to where this bar wants to go. This is where we can get ourselves in a bit of strife. So we need to make sure, because we are standing up, that everything is tense and tight and we are pulling through the right areas. Too many people use momentum for this exercise. Things like knee bends, hip thrusts, getting up on the toes, all sorts of little minute details that end up taking away that tension from your delts. Again, don't give your delts that much credit. They're not that strong. That's why you are looking for these little advantages through your hips, knees, and or feet. So how do we set up the barbell upright row? Well, it's going to be very structured, just like we do with our bent over barbell row. However, instead of being bent over, we're going to be obviously standing up nice and tall. So when we come up to the bar, hand position on what you want to target is also important. If you want to target your traps, okay, now I would probably, anything that you lift above your head, well, it's not going above your head, but anything that you get your elbows up nice and tall, you're going to get trap engagement anyway. So I tend to, when doing this exercise, would suggest to you to go with your hands out wider, but let's go through the trap one first. Simply done, go about a thumb width out from one another, or meet in the middle with your two thumbs, and that's where you want to be for your traps, and that's your hand position there. When it comes to getting the medial head of your deltoid, which is essentially what we're using this exercise to do, it's to grow those caps out, we actually want to bring those hands out a little wider. So we're looking to take our hand along where the knurl is, or probably just past, or in line with your shoulder width is another good example. Now, when we grab a hold of the bar, what we want to do is make sure that we shore up our ankles, our knees, and our hips. Why? Because we don't want to subconsciously start to get get momentum or create an advantage for ourselves by using these little kips that we have. Okay, so we're going to lock them up, because when fatigue kicks in, we don't really want to be thinking about, oh, I got to squeeze all this on. We want to be thinking about, I got to rake this up. Right, so set up, pivotal. We're going to grab a hold of the bar about a shoulder width out, stand up nice and tall. Now it's from this position here that I want to screw my feet into the ground. I want to lock my knees out, so completely lock them out and squeeze our hips on. You can see with the weight that it wants to roll me forward. It's no different to our bent over row and being in this position. So when we do our bent over row, we retract and pull down. It is exactly the same as what we're going to do with our upright row, is that you can see that when I'm in this position here and I'm lax, that you can see my posture goes right off. So I want to pull these shoulder blades back and down, and I want to create stability through my shoulder blades by pulling them back and down. Remember, the more stable the joint is, the stronger the contraction will be. So if we want to get the most bang for our buck out of this exercise and make those shoulder caps really pronounced and blow out, then we want to make sure that we're pulling our shoulder blades back and down and shoring up our scapula. So again, we're going to screw our feet in, we're going to lock our knees out, we're going to push our hips through, shoulder blades up, back and down. You can see how pronounced my chest is now. Where I want you to take this bar to is just with your elbows above your armpits, which will put the bar in line with maybe just below your pecs or in line with your nipple line. We're not coming up all the way to our chin. It just puts our shoulders in a really advantageous position. So here's a little something. Most people dislocate their shoulder. Now, you're not going to dislocate your shoulder on this thing, but most people dislocate their shoulder by a force being pushed down this direction and it popping out this way. Your armpit, there's no tendons under there that allow, or structure that allows for your arm not to pop out of your shoulder joint, right? Which is why downward force will always always be a really good way to dislocate a shoulder. So people who play AFL football, when they go to smother the ball, they fall like this, force pushes down, and they get themselves in strife. So with that being said, oh yeah, elbows. We want to make sure that we are taking the bar to our midline of our chest. So from this position here, we're going to roll, we're going to screw our feet in, knees lock out, hips come through, shoulder blades back and down, and we're pulling this bar all the way up to our nipple line, and we are just going like this, bang, and that there is the movement. Simple as that. If you lose any of the tension in your feet, your knees, your hips, or your shoulder blades are being pulled back and down, then that's it, the exercise is off, because the load is now no longer going through your shoulders, it is going through your traps and going through other means to get the weight up. So again, these are a few things that you can find yourself doing. You can come up onto your toes to help you up, you can push your hips forward, you can do this little dicky bend, all right? All those are a big no-no. Don't give your shoulders that much credit, they don't deserve it. Team, that there, oh, here's a quick example of how to do the upright row with your hands in close. So again, shoulder blades back and down and coming up nice and tall, and that's that there. You could probably get away with pulling the hands in closer, higher, just because you are focusing on your traps, and remember your traps are designed to elevate the scapula, so you could probably come up nice and high. But just go to the range of motion that feels comfortable for your neck muscles. Otherwise, I would definitely go either, and obviously the wider you go, the more probably delt you're going to get, so I would find a nice little in-betweener, and that is what I would be doing for my barbell upright row. And team, that is how you do a barbell upright row.